Yeah, no.
Don't even start.
What year were you born?
Wait, we're not there yet. We're not started yet.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Go ahead, repeat the question.
So, we're here with Richard Borum, B-O-R-U-M, Borum House, and hopefully he won't bore him today because we're getting a little synopsis of his life story. So this is a little impromptu. Just wanted to sit down with you while we're both still above ground to chat about your life a little bit, because I don't know much about it, and I thought it would be good for our kids and grandkids and their grandkids and down the road, since you are the oldest living relative that I have and the oldest person I know, to learn about your life. So, Dad, Merry Christmas, and thanks for taking this time to do this.
Thank you.
Tell us when you were born. Let's start there.
Well, what year is it today?
Today is 2017.
Okay, and I'm 83 years old, so you do the math.
I don't have a computer. So back in your day, when you used an abacus in school, do you know the date year you were born?
I do know. Do you know?
No, I have no idea. My phone's dead and I don't have a calculator.
You're my son, and you're 50-some-odd years old.
It's not about me. This is about you.
You don't know your dad's year of birth?
No, I have no
I was
idea.
close. I said
Okay. Well, it was
1934.
1934. Yes.
Okay.
And it happened to be November.
Okay. Like about the 5th, I think.
I think, well, hey, you got that down.
How about that? Well, it totally took me 32 years of teen. You reminded me when your birthday is.
Yeah.
I know it's sometime around election time. That's all I know. Vote. Remember to wish Dad happy birthday. Who was president when you were born?
I guess Eisenhower, no?
I know. We'll fact check it later. When you Googled Roosevelt. Wow. Would have been Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
There you go.
Right. Well, Teddy was gone by then, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So you were born around the Depression.
Just after.
Depression.
Well, it was always Depression where I was born. So.
Okay, so where were you born?
I was born in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Okay, and so what part of Tennessee is that?
That's in West Tennessee.
Okay.
60 miles north of Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. And you were born in a city,
12
a
miles
town?
from Union City.
Were you born in a hospital?
I was born in a hospital.
Okay, so they had a hospital.
They had hospitals back then, yeah. But the horse and wagon that we went down in, it had a flat tire.
Come on. You didn't have rubber tires on the wagon.
No, there was no rubber tires.
So you had cars back when you were born, though, right?
Well, yeah, there was cars.
And certainly tractors.
I mean, yeah.
Steam?
I don't know. I never
Gasoline?
drove a steam tractor, but
So you were born, though your family lived on a farm?
I did.
Okay. And what did we farm?
We farmed cotton.
Okay.
We farmed tomatoes.
Now, did you own the property, or were you sharecroppers? Did your family own the farm?
We owned the farm.
Okay. And so tell me about your parents.
What would you like to know?
A little bit, their names.
They died when they were 81 years old.
Okay, well, that's fast forward a lot of years. So let's go back when you were growing up. Your parents' names?
Robert and Pauline.
Okay. And so where were they raised? Were they raised on that same area?
They were raised in the same area.
Okay. So Robert...
Then you didn't travel very far.
Right. So they were farmers also. Robert was a farmer.
His dad died when he was 16.
Okay.
He raised the family of 4. There were 4 kids. He raised the family.
Okay.
He was the breadwinner when he was 16.
But he left the farm when?
1949.
Okay, so you were 15 years old.
That's right.
And moved to
Michigan.
Okay. And where did your dad go to work then?
He went to work for Chevrolet Motor.
Okay.
Company.
Wow. And he retired from Chevrolet Motors.
Yes.
Wow. And that was back when people actually worked for one company and stayed there all their lives and got a retirement pension.
Probably could, because he didn't start there until he was later in his years. So he was.
Do you remember your first job?
Yeah, I do.
Now, you worked on the farm until you were 15.
My first job, first paying job,
First paying job.
was riding a mule around the hay baler.
Really?
That's 50 cents a day.
And was that working for somebody else? Or?
Yes, yeah, that was working off the farm
Wow.
for Uncle Bert.
50 cents a day. And what was your job? Just riding the mule?
Just riding the mule. And it was just something for them.
Something for them to give you to do,
Right.
to keep you out of trouble?
Yeah, you didn't need to actually ride the mule.
But
That
now,
was my first job.
some of your family stayed in Tennessee.
There's still family in
Still there? Do they still have a farm? Is it?
No, no longer farming, no.
Now, when you were a kid, because one of the things I remember going back there when I was a kid was the old general store across the street.
Well, that was, I
Later.
was raised in that part of
Oh, you weren't?
there,
Okay.
I know the one you are familiar with, yes. That's no longer there.
Well, it's funny because the general store was the gathering place. The
Yeah,
little
the
country
farmers
store
would
for a
go
long
over
time.
there,
The farmers would go over there.
Mhm.
So I remember going with Uncle Nathan and having a diet soda in the morning, or not a diet soda. You had diet
Yeah,
sodas
no.
back then. It was Dr. Pepper actually. They would go over and get us a Dr. Pepper and we'd sit on the porch with the farmers. But that was after being on the farm early. So day on the farm. Time would you get up, get on the farm?
When I was 12 years old, I was actually taking a team of horses and going out in the field. 12 years old.
And you didn't have a tractor.
No, we didn't have a tractor at the farm, no.
So that was a later invention, or just you
No,
just
it
couldn't
was-
afford
we just
one?
couldn't afford one.
Because it was pretty, you were pretty poor.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't know you were poor, right? You had food to eat, clothes to wear. Now, did you actually, this is may sound stupid, but did you wear shoes during the summer, or did you go barefoot, or what?
No, you're going back a little
I
far.
mean, because there wasn't a Walmart to go down in, so where did you get your clothes in? Was there general stores?
We had a town.
Okay.
So, in fact, I worked in a dry goods store when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah.
But you really drove the wagon to town, right?
We went to town on a wagon, yes.
And then when you moved to
Before we,
Michigan, things completely changed.
well, it changed much longer before after that.
Did it? So tell us about the first car that you remember your parents on.
A 36 Ford. That was the first one I remember.
Now, what kind of Ford was that? I mean, was it Model A? Was that later?
You don't really know your car.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
36 Ford was a sedan.
Okay,
It was a regular
so
car.
four-door sedan.
No, I don't think it had 4 doors.
Did it have seat buckles?
They didn't know what seat belts were. It wasn't until after you were born.
Well, listen, the first seat buckle I remember was hidden under the seat of your car when I was looking for change.
Yeah.
We didn't use seat buckles either, you know, until
That's-
the
yeah.
law made us, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, air conditioning in the car?
We had air conditioning in California, and I had my first company car in 1965.
And that was the first time you had air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
What about in your house in Tennessee?
You were lucky to even have a window.
What? Come on. So it was a big change. What made your dad move to Michigan?
For a job. For money.
Did that significantly change the lifestyle then for you guys?
My lifestyle? Well, yeah, it really did, I guess.
So tell us about high school. When did you get your first computer in school?
My first computer in school, let's see, I had a calculator. No.
No, you didn't even have a calculator in school. So that was back when you actually had to do math by writing it out.
Actually, you had to do math, yes.
Is it ciphering? I think they called it
No,
back
they
then.
didn't know. So you've been watching the Beverly Hills.
Well, listen, I grew up where the Beverly Hillbillies are from, so the Ozarks. So tell us, you were how old when you met Mom?
When I met her, I was 17, yes.
And just where did you meet her?
I actually met her in church,
Okay.
but she was in my class in school also.
Okay. And you were 19 when you married her? 20?
19,
And she was 16.
yes.
And some story I remember, which I tend to twist stories based on
Yeah,
things.
we understand that.
But so, and that's okay. But I remember something about you drag racing outside of school while she was in school, or maybe you get
No, we went to drag racing. We were just,
cruising.
I guess you call it cruising. I just revved up the car and during school hours, and I wasn't supposed to be in the car out of school. We blew the muffler.
Yeah.
That made really good.
So you got a little hot water for that, but probably nothing.
No,
No.
no.
And so, how old were you when you guys moved to California from Michigan?
How old was I? It was in 1959. How old was I?
Another math question.
Yeah, see?
For those of you watching on video, you do the math yourself.
26.
David was born, I was 25. When he was born, he was 6 months old when we moved to California.
Why?
He
Why?
was born in 59.
What prompted you to move to California? Go west, young man.
My brother-in-law and I got drunk one night, decided we were going to move to California. So,
And that was Uncle Jess.
no, actually, we weren't drinking at that time.
That was later on.
We actually did that sober. We actually talked our wives into doing it. That
Now-
was a big thing.
You were in the Army.
No, I was not in the Army.
You were in the Navy. You were in
You're
some
how
branch of
old
the
and
service.
how old, and you don't know even what branch of service I'm in.
That's why we're
I
here.
was in the Navy.
Long
Yes.
overdue.
I was in the Navy.
So is that why you moved to California?
No, well, I was sent to California in the Navy,
Okay.
but I moved back to Michigan. Went back to Michigan after service.
Okay. And so you served. How long were you in the Navy?
21 months
Why so short?
because I was short timer.
Yeah.
Because I was a draftee,
Yeah.
2 year, supposed to do 2 years,
Okay.
and I had the duty I had. They didn't know what to do with me because I had shore duty in San Diego, and tour duties are 2 years. Well, I didn't have time to do any others, so they gave all of us that were drafted.
They gave
Shore
you credit
duties.
for your 2 years and sent you home.
That's right.
Did they pay you for the 2 years?
Well, no, they didn't pay us after we got out.
So what was the living wage back then when you came to California from
Okay.
Michigan?
I was making $100 a week when I moved to California, $125 a week when I moved to California,
And what was your first job in California?
driving a laundry truck.
Really? Now I understand.
I joined the Teamsters Union even.
Wow, driving a laundry truck, $100 a week.
No, I'm making more than that when I moved to California.
Okay, 125.
No, probably making about 150 or 200, which is good money then.
Okay.
Very good money.
And mom was raising babies.
About what you're making now.
At that time, yeah, she was. No, she actually was working.
Was she?
Yeah, she worked.
And so me and Paula were born in Southern California. And I know you went to work for Reynolds Tobacco. How old were you when you did that?
I don't know.
What year was that? We'll do the math.
Okay, let's do about a year. It was 1961.
Okay.
Paula was born just after she was born.
Just after me, and I was born in 62.
1962.
Right.
Yes.
We tend to move around California, and
We
people
did?
often ask me why.
Sheriff was after me.
Well, I told people that my dad was a gypsy.
Well, I was transferred and promoted. And it was the
Every
first
time we got a promotion, we moved.
That's right. Had to go to somewhere else.
And how long did you sell cigarettes?
About 9 years
Okay. And then you left there to go
to sell mattresses.
back to Michigan, where you started with Ortho Mattress.
Right.
And what
I
year was
started in
that?
management and ortho mattresses. That was in 1968.
So I was 6, okay. Because I was in
Does that
kindergarten,
make
I
sense?
guess, first grade.
67, 68.
That's going to be
We
about
went
right.
back 69, I guess.
Because we were only in Michigan for how long?
9, 10 months.
Okay.
About that.
And from that point on, you were with Ortho Mattress how many years?
And that was about 8 years.
Okay. And all in management?
Yeah.
But that was a management and sales role, right? For most of it, for a lot of the time, early years.
I trained salesmen, yes.
Okay. And then from there, tell us about living in California in the early 60s.
Well, it was still expensive, but nothing like it became.
Right.
Our house, first house we bought in California, paid $12,900.
And where was that at?
That was in San Diego.
Okay.
Actually, in San Diego.
So it seems to me that we weren't in very many places for very long before you were promoted and moved again.
Yeah, it didn't take too long. Well, you know. Let's see, it was San Diego until 1960. Patty was born in 1960, so we were there. Moved to
Okay.
Pasadena. Patty was born in 64.
64.
yeah. 222, yeah. 212,
2122.
212. Yeah.
2122.
Yeah. No. It was David, and then 2 years Paula, 1 year you,
Right.
2 years Patty.
Yeah. Who was your hardest kid to raise?
Well, I tried not to raise any of them. I delegated.
Well, people always ask me why I was successful with Aflac, because I left and let Tina handle the kids because I didn't want to be there. I love kids, but
I do too, somebody else.
from a distance, that's where I get it, right? So, what else? Do we get any questions from the crowd here?
Let's see.
Did you ever go to the Grand Canyon when you lived in California?
I did. We've been to the Grand Canyon a couple times, yes.
He never took me to the
He
Grand
went to
Canyon.
the Grand Canyon too.
You never took me to the Grand Canyon.
Didn't you go to the Grand
I
Canyon?
never.
I think you did.
I never remember.
We went to the Grand Canyon.
Okay,
sometime.
we may have driven by.
Yeah, we did.
What's your first memory as a kid?
First thing I can really remember is riding my tricycle to school, the first day of school. I do remember that.
In 5th grade.
With my grandmother
Or
following behind
5 years old, not in 5th
She
grade.
followed behind me. I was on a 3-wheel tricycle and I was 6 years old.
Tell me about your grandparents, because I don't know anything about them.
My grandparents. Well, on your mother's side, they were also...
On your mother's side.
No.
Your grandparents on your mother's side.
I'm sorry, on my mother's side,
Right.
my grandparents were born in Tennessee also. They moved to Michigan much sooner than what we did. And they were married 40 years and divorced after 40 years of marriage.
Really, your grandparents divorced after 40.
And my granddad got married again after that.
See, that's a story I had never heard before.
Yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, he married, probably in somewhere in the 60s, I guess. No, in the 50s, late 50s. He married while I was in service, yeah.
So do you remember your grandparents? I mean, were they around when you were?
Yeah, I was 15. I mean, when we moved to Michigan, so I mean.
And they were in Michigan when
They were in
you
Michigan.
lived close. Where did you move in Michigan?
We moved to Flint, Michigan.
Okay. And so, what about your dad's parents?
My dad's parents. His dad died when he was 16.
Okay. So you never.
I never knew him.
Right.
My grandmother, we lived at the old farm place all the time we were in Tennessee. My grandmother lived with us. She was there. And
So was it then their farm then in Tennessee
Uh-huh.
that you lived on?
Uh-huh.
How many acres?
It was 80 acres.
And all you raised was cotton.
Oh, no. We had lots of corn, lots of cotton.
Did you have
Tomatoes,
animals?
sweet potatoes, animals, cows, horses,
Did you ever milk a cow?
chickens. Yes. Many.
Because I don't remember my first cow that I remember. They brought in a truck to my school in the 4th grade. That's the first cow I remember.
Yeah.
Dairy brought a dairy cow to school, so it was a little bit different. Me growing up than when you grew up.
Yeah, my mother used to milk the cow and feed me hot milk right from the cow.
What did you do at night? You flipped cable channels, watched TV.
Well, you had lamps. We didn't have electricity. I'm going back to early times when I was.
So you didn't have electricity when you were born then?
No, we had no electricity until 1940.
Wow. And so
First
no
time.
radio. I mean, it was.
Well, we had a radio. We had it hooked up to a car battery. It was a battery radio. That's what we sat around and watched every night.
Well, so I watched the radio.
Yeah, there you go.
And what shows did you watch on the radio?
Let's see.
Was the Howdy Doody show on back then?
No,
or was that
not
later?
hardly.
That was late.
That's a lot later.
The Shadow.
I think that was then. Maybe that was later. I'm not
Amos
sure.
and Andy was an old
Amos and
radio
Andy
show.
Was that? Oh yeah. What's that? Or listen?
Did you play games? I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah, we played. There was a game called Rook. You couldn't have playing cards. That was against everybody's religion as far as because they were gambling cards.
you were Southern Baptist, raised Southern Baptist,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
And so we didn't dance.
Well, not
Not where we were supposed to. Right. Weren't supposed to dance.
not supposed to dance.
But no playing cards. What was Rook?
Rook was another. It's a card game. It's still there.
But you couldn't use the
But you
normal
could play-
52
could play
deck of
Rook.
cards because those are gambling cards.
Right. But you
Okay.
could play Rook. you
Okay.
know, which is
Kind of like an early version of Uno or something, but
well, yeah.
probably with more
How
thought.
would you describe Rook? We played. You played with Trump. You remember playing Rook? Do with the neighbors next door? When we were on Mumford.
So this is Camille house, and Dad and Camille have been married for 33 years. Mom passed when she was 46, and just something that I remember is after Mom passed that I called Bob and Gigi, and I spoke to Bob and told him that Mom had passed and let Bob know when the funeral was going to be. Bob said, "Well, we've got an appointment that day, but we plan on being there." And they never made it to the funeral, and Bob was gone 2 weeks later.
Right.
Very aggressive cancer.
Oh,
No, he actually had a growth. It wasn't cancer.
Okay.
And it had crystallized. So they went to remove it out of his lungs, and he didn't make it.
Another story debunked that I've gotten wrong over the years. So Dad and Gigi have been together 33 years, so congratulations on you sticking with it, Gigi. It's been awesome.
I've had my moments.
One of the things I remember from my childhood as we were growing up in California is we used to eat out a lot.
that's where you
I don't remember Mom as a really proficient cook. I just don't remember that about her.
She could cook, just chose not to. Actually, it probably was my fault more than anything.
Well, listen, I've been to some of the best restaurants in California growing up, so I was very fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I remember going to a restaurant one time and ordering a hamburger, and I think I don't know, I got chastised or something because it was a pretty nice steakhouse, and all I wanted was a hamburger. So I seem to remember being in trouble all the time. I can't imagine why. I will tell you one of my...
Well, I'll tell you this: his mother would never take a drink of alcohol until after he was born. And when he was born, we went out and she drank from then on. So if that tells you anything about my second oldest son.
Well, I had adjustment problems. We moved frequently. I think that's made me the success as far as being able to deal with people and adjust that I am today. But apparently I struggled in school because I may have had an attention deficit problem before they knew what that was. I was fairly bored in school and was always getting in trouble. And I'll remember we moved.
School came too easy for him, and he just didn't apply himself
Yeah.
because he didn't have to, and it really made his siblings really upset because they had to struggle.
Oh, listen, Paula was Christ in college. She would study and study and study, and I would just...
And that just upset her something awful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it would disturb her,
that's
but
just
she's
kind of a
disturbed.
sideline, but
Yeah, so we won't get into that conversation today. But I remember we moved to San Jose. And,
yes, we did.
from Sacramento.
Actually, Cupertino.
Well, Cupertino, right?
which
But
is San Jose.
it was part of San Jose.
Right.
And Cupertino was a great school district. And I'll
Just-
never forget
just
Mom
close
taking
to
me to the
Apple.
school the first day. What?
Just close to Apple.
It was just close to where Apple is today. Apple wasn't there then.
Yeah, it was.
What? Apple?
Well, no,
Apple
I
wasn't there then. But I remember the guy across the street was in the tech industry,
Mm-hmm.
and he worked on laser technology in just the beginning stages when lasers were starting. They were starting to work on laser technology. But they call that all Silicon Valley now, and so we lived in Silicon Valley. Dad worked in outside of San Francisco, Millbrae. Was your office?
Yes, that was when, well, after we moved to San Francisco, yeah.
Well, to Cupertino.
Second time, yeah.
Second. Well, we lived in Oakland, but that was before
We never lived in Oakland.
Fremont.
Fremont.
Outside
There
of
you
Oakland.
go.
Fremont outside? It was
No.
not, well, because I was an
South.
Oakland Raider fan because we were close. Whatever.
Yeah.
So we moved to San Jose, the Cupertino, and Mom talked, and I don't know if you remember this, the first day of school, all the kids started school, except the sixth graders had left that morning for a week-long camping trip. Can you pause this, please?